Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to This Old Goat Tarot. My name is Anne, and this channel is for Capricorn placements of all signs. Occasionally I do readings that are more general for the collective, but this particular reading is geared towards Capricorn placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, so definitely check. Um, Today's reading will be about the upcoming full moon in Sag. So on June the 11th at approximately, I believe it's 3:43 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as I'm checking my notes, the moon will be moving into Sagittarius. And this is a really exciting lunation that I really wanted us together to reflect on and to just understand what it is that we can expect, what it is that we can manifest. And remember, the story arc of lunations don't just begin on the actual full moon. They actually began 6 months prior when we had the new moon in Sagittarius, and that was approximately December 1st or November 30th, depending upon your time zone. So at that time, we had a new moon, and it was in Sagittarius. And so sometimes if you were manifesting something with intention during that period of time, the arc of that story, that narrative coming true in your life can actually occur over the next 6 months. But then at the same time, when the full moon occurs, where there's that big release of energy, the outcome, the impacts, that you might actually feel it not just 2 weeks after the potency of this lunation, but you might actually see it additionally for the 6 months after the full moon as well. So it's a story arc, okay? And I'm really curious what you've been thinking about at that time in your life. Go back. Fall, fall, right after Thanksgiving if you live in the United States. You know, November 30th, December 1st. What was going on? And you know, I myself am trying to get better about capturing these thoughts, my intentions on a journal. I definitely encourage you to do so as well. It just allows you to live your best life with more intention. So today we're going to go ahead and do a reading about this. Now I do want to also highlight that despite the fact that there is a full moon in Sag, what makes this so special is that almost completely in opposition, not a full 180, but the actual temple of the moon is Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon. And Jupiter just moved from Gemini into the full moon. And I did do a video about that. Go ahead, I'll make sure to pin it at the end of this video. And that's a very important, that's going to be a story arc that's going to go on for the next 2 years. But the reason that this is so special is that if you think about the fact that we have this big macro energy of the outer planet of Jupiter, the god of luck, the god of prosperity, the god of righteousness, fairness, expansion, being in the temple of the moon in Cancer, while at the same time we have the moon in Sagittarius, which, oh, by the way, Jupiter rules Sagittarius. You know, instead of having the typical opposition that you might have, and by the way, it's about 10 degrees off a full opposition. It actually they resonate against each other. It's not like a tension type of aspect. It's more of an energy that is very complementary. So Sagittarius is a fire sign. If you do have any placements, in Sagittarius, I myself, a Sagittarius moon myself. Sagittarius is very optimistic, and it gets all that from Jupiter, right? That expansive energy about saying yes, about wanting to make it happen, about moving forward. And keep in mind that it's a mutable sign. Mutable signs are known for flexibility, adaptability. So if you do have any other placements in some of the later degrees of mutable signs, this lunation might actually impact you quite extensively. So again, then we also have, you know, this big Jupiter. It's just beginning this transit in Cancer. Cancer is the home, it's emotional energy, your emotional well-being. So combine those two energies, they're not really opposing each other. They're actually very complementary about moving forward with gusto, with optimism, about being excited for the future and whatever seeds that you've been planting along the way. So Capricorn, I'm super excited to know what this might mean for you. I welcome all cross watchers, all placements of Capricorn. I would love to know if you do have any Cancer and or Sagittarius placements in your chart. If you haven't already done so, I definitely encourage you to go Google it. It's fairly easy to find out. It's not just like your date of birth and your year. It's where you were born as well as the time you were born, which will tell what your sun, moon, and rising are. All right, so for today's reading, I'm going to go ahead and open us up with a Moonology oracle card like I always do for all lunations. I'll read the oracle message, and it doesn't like always match, but the last two cards I pulled for lunation readings actually matched the actual lunation. We'll see what is pulled today, and then we'll consult the tarot just to kind of understand. And I am looking at the arc of time of a recent past being anytime from November, end of November, beginning of December up until now. Current energy, and then potential outcome, meaning like the next 6 months following this lunation. It is your story, and I'm here to help you live the best life. All right, Capricorn, let's see what Spirit has to tell us. Let's go ahead and get started. And by the way, today's numerological number, the date that I'm performing this reading, is June 9th, 2025 at approximately 4:52 Eastern Standard Time. That does break down to the number 6. Sixes, I have been feeling all month already. First of all, it is the 6th month of the year. We just had the 6/6 portal. But today is a 6 as well, and I do shuffle my decks based upon the numerological number of the day. I think that it's important to honor synchronicity as well. All right, so let's get started. So we've got full moon in Scorpio. It's time to release negativity. All right, so let me go ahead and put this here. You feel free to reflect on the artwork as I read from the guidebook. All right. The full moon in Scorpio has a sting in its tail. It can herald a vindictive end to a relationship. It can also be a time when we want to be good, but we're naughty. If you pull this card, no matter when, your dark side and your shadow self may be showing. The full moon in Scorpio is also a time of magic. If you were thinking of making some magic, this is your sign to do it. Additional meanings here around this is that there is some takeaways around it is time to move from living fearfully to living joyfully. You're right to have your suspicions. Grudges are toxic. Let something go in the end of an argument. Okay, so I think that's interesting. It sounds as if there's something to do with someone else or another person, another being, a relationship, a romantic, a platonic, or otherwise. Now, I will say that the transit of Jupiter moving from Gemini into Cancer, for Capricorn rising, it's all about that other. There's a duality present. And especially if you are thinking about relationships and those who are in your life, a spouse, a significant other, full moons are a time of a release. So has there been something under the surface that Spirit's been asking you, or you've been renumerating on, can't say it, thinking about, if you will, since the fall of last year, where something no longer really fits the new you, or the current state of the relationship. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to walk away. So that stinger that card was talking about, take it as it resonates. It may not be for everyone, but there might be something there where this full moon might be that tipping point. And, a few days prior, 2 weeks after, about some sort of event that's just something that you can no longer unsee in terms of how the relationship is, and so that something's got to give, something's got to go to make room for the new dimension, the new you who wants to come forth. And sometimes that might mean severing a relationship as well. So Capricorn, I definitely encourage you to think about that. And remember, it just talked about grudges being toxic. Being able to say yes, that's that Sagittarian energy and that optimism that Jupiter is sending across the way. This is not a time to hold back. We live this life to we're not here to play small, right? We're here to learn and to live our true authentic self to the best of our abilities. So Capricorn, take it as it resonates. Let's go ahead and consult the tarot and get additional clarity on this reading. All right. All right. You did pull the Two of Wands in the position of the past, and it's in the reverse. You pulled the Nine of Wands in the position of the present, but it is in reverse, so I'm going to honor the reversals. And in the current energy or future outcome, you actually have the High Priestess, Major Arcana number 2. And bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Cups. All right. I think this Queen of Cups energy for a full moon makes so much sense. Here's the thing. The Queen of Cups is not here to, she can only hold so many cups, and she's not, in that room is so precious. She's not going to continue to hold cups for people who, frankly, it becomes burdensome, it becomes heavy. And so she's willing to dump out those cups. And by the way, in the tarot, cups is all about love and emotion and connection. And so if Capricorn, if you are holding a cup of someone else's energy, and it becomes more heavy than the joy that you could receive and the fulfillment from holding said cup, Spirit is saying it's time to dump that out. Use that Queen of Cups energy. She's very decisive about which cup she's willing to hold and to carry into her reality. And that's where the Scorpio energy about using that stinger is time to release negativity. Just dump out those cups. And remember, water flows freely. It's not something that is meant to be held onto for a significant amount of time. It is learn, indulge in the experience, indulge in the memory, indulge in the connection, but you need to also release that in order to make way for all the other great splendor and love and fulfillment that Spirit has for you. Especially, remember, think about this Jupiter energy in the temple of the moon, in Cancer. Just really sending so much harmonization towards this full moon in Sag. Again, that's Jupiter rules Sagittarius. This is not conflicting energy at all. And that's really what this is about. This is not about, this card had mentioned that grudges are toxic. Absolutely. This is not vindictive energy. Okay, this is about really being true to thyself in the sense of what lights you up, what connections still hold value and fills your cup, and sort of frankly dumping out any of that old energy in this full moon, in this release, that becomes a burden to bear. It becomes just simply an obligation versus true, that unconditional true love. So that's, and Scorpio is here to teach us that as well, about any of those things that we may have repressed. Well, in a full moon, anytime that we have that, it's a perfect opportunity to allow that we may have hidden to come to the surface. All right, so we have here this Two of Wands in reverse. So Two of Wands energy to me is, well, first of all, it's fire energy, and it typically could be about having an opportunity and a decision, but I feel as if there has been some sort of indecision in the past 6 months or so that came up where we've held ourselves back. Perhaps we've held ourselves back for someone else. Maybe it involves wanting to have a child, or taking that next promotion, or moving. We are not talking about the mundane things here. We are talking about major life milestones. And so what in your life, Capricorn, if you reflect on it, have you held back? Again, if this was in the upright position, to me, I'm just getting right now, okay, it's just a matter of making the decision. In the reversal, it's almost like we're walking away. We are sort of hiding from the inevitable, that a decision needs to be made in order for us to move forward. We've held ourselves back. So I do want to get a little clarity on that. That's interesting that's coming through for me right now. It's like it's almost like we're in denial about something. Whew. Getting a lot of cards here all of a sudden. All right, Spirit, why do we have the Two of Wands here for recent past? Again, the scope of this reading, stuff's already coming out, goes back all the way to November of last year. Why is the Two of Wands here? Recent past. Any additional messages? Oh, lots of messages. Anything else? Sometimes I've noticed in a lot of these readings that recent past seems to have a lot of cards. There's a story to tell. We have the Fool at the bottom of the deck. So there's something about a new beginning that tells me, I'm going to put that here. And we had the Hangman flew out first. So again, this can be seen in two different ways. This is about a new perspective, or it can also be about some sort of delay. You're sort of on the fence about something. You haven't made a decision one way or the other. So I'm very much sensing that it's that there's a delay here. We are in this Hangman energy where we haven't been able to make a decision. All right, so I'm just going to pick these up and explain it as I see them right here on the bottom. So we have the Lover's energy. I think it's involving another party, like I mentioned at the beginning of the reading. I'm also getting with the Lovers. This is a major arcana card. We are in the 6th month. There's a little bit of synchronicity there. Gemini energy. We are in Gemini season right now, so I think that the timing, Spirit is saying that it's all been building to this moment. June is significant. I have the Ten of Pentacles here, and I don't know if you've been listening to me for a while, but the Ten and other tarot readers I have also listened. For whatever reason, the King of Pentacles has been coming out quite a bit lately. King of Pentacles is about leaving a legacy, and not just in money. It could be about a home, an asset, your overall, putting your name to something. And there is a little bit of, I'm sensing like a bull here. It could also mean something to do with finances, with the stock market, right? Because the stock market is represented by the bull, the Taurus energy here as well. So perhaps something happened in Taurus season. The stock market was up and down. Maybe there was a little bit of a hit on your 401k or investments. I don't know what that looks like. This isn't a career and finance reading, but whatever this was, I'm sensing that it impacted another party here. And there's something that needs to be released, something that's coming to a culmination that involves a decision. I'm getting Four of Cups sideways. There was some options on the table, but we were not interested. We weren't feeling it. Lots of sideways energy here. We've got the Three of Wands, which to me is like we're waiting for, we see some opportunity. Our ships are coming in, but we're still not ready. There's some sort of hesitation. We tried to do a timeout. Four of Swords is about self-care. It's about taking the time to do the inner work of integration when needed. So perhaps you were trying to do that, and you were sort of on the brink of burnout. That's what very much I've been getting in recent readings as well. But the good news is I do have this here about this Six of Swords, which is moving on to calmer waters. Okay, so all together, this was a lot. I'm sensing, especially with that Lovers card that came out, and we have the Fool at the bottom of the deck, is that I shouldn't say it was. There was and still is a new beginning that wants to come through. And for the last, 6 months since this new moon that happened in December, we've been on the fence. We haven't really made a lot of progress towards it. And I think it's because of factors. The fact that we got that King of Pentacles, that also came through. It involved other people. It involved finances that kind of put us in a situation here where our hands are tied almost. And that's almost what I'm getting also from the imagery of this card. It feels like someone's like, you got me, I can't move forward. But in order to move forward, in the current energy, we have here the Nine of Wands in reverse. So, Nine of Wands in reverse, typically it's about, in their upright, to me, I get that it's about defending something, about something that you're fighting for. You're willing to go at it at all costs. But right now, I think that there might be a little bit of a pause here. And it's like, whatever you've been defending, that has, I think it's separate from this new beginning. Okay, that has been holding you back. What I'm sensing here is it's almost like this thing that you've been defending for so long about, oh, I can't do this. You want to try something new. You want to maybe start a new business, or maybe it's a new routine. Perhaps with taking charge of your health. It could also just be about just a new relationship in general, and it's been like, no, I'm not really ready for the next level up, if you will. So perhaps you're dating Capricorns who might be involved with someone, and it's like moving in together, or you're moving in together and you decide that you want, you're going to put a ring on it, or you're going to try for a baby or buy a house or whatever that looks like for you. I think it's kind of like there's been a lot of concerns, if that makes sense, where you feel like, oh, there's all these things. It's not a good idea. It's not the right time. My career is just taking off, or I have all these student loans. Perhaps if you are retired, and you wanted to start a new, that bucket list, if you will. It's always been like the wrong timing, and you've kind of, put yourself on the sidelines, and it's like you haven't actually made the decision to do it because you felt like your hands were tied because of external factors. Now is the time to release those almost those chains, or it feels like handcuffs. The key is here. Spirit has the key to release those handcuffs for you. You no longer have to defend yourself, or when people ask, why are you doing this, or what's the rationale? Well, this full moon is bringing a release. Jupiter is giving you a level of, he's sort of giving you permission to think big for once and for all, and not to continue to just put it on the back burner. Stop putting it on the back burner, Capricorn. All right, so let's see. Why is the Nine of Wands here in reverse? I'll get 1 or 2 messages for my community here, for my beautiful Capricorn community. I usually do three shuffles if I don't get anything, and then we'll consult the bottom of the deck. Any messages for why the Nine of Wands is here in current energy for the full moon in Sag? We've got the Chariot. Okay. Let's play a bit here. All right. Anything else? That was me. Oh, this is definitely Spirit. Anything else? All right. Bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Pentacles. Okay. Very much makes sense around this. Okay, I'm defending something and I'm not like this in reverse. It's almost, to me, it feels like the shadow side of defending something, like I'm holding on to something too long, which is very much Four of Pentacle energy to me. Where it's like all of these excuses, all of these reasons, the ego has been like pressuring you as you can't do it because of XYZ, putting you in this hangman energy, in this state of, you know, this Two of Wands in reverse. We got the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, okay? For me, the Nine of Pentacles energy is about, in the upright, is about integration. So each of the Pentacle cards has a lesson associated with it of something we may have learned along the way. And then at the 9 is an ending. So the number 9 in general is an end. But the 9 of Pentacles is sort of like you've kind of gained all of these treasures and she is now relishing in her garden and pulling it all in and you know, very luxuriously admiring and honoring where she's been, but it's in reverse, okay? So maybe there has been some integration work which we haven't quite done yet, which we haven't completed. But by the way, I do have a little bit of synchronicity here because I have the Nine of Wands in reverse. I have the Nine of Pentacles. I got the Nine of Cups. Spirit is saying that now you feel it's the right time. And what's interesting to me also is that, I don't know why, but whenever I see these two cards, just the way that they're sitting always seems very, like, complimentary. There's something about the way that they're sitting on these cards in the Rider-Waite, that it's like they're sitting on it, willing to hold on to something, willing to protect it, knows that there's something there for the long haul. So again, maybe we were holding on to something a little too tight and we have to release it. This is all about the full moon. The full moon is here for us to do a release. So if you've been holding on to something because you felt that there's been all of these reasons that this change that you want to go after is somehow going to disrupt something because it's not the right time and you're talking yourself out of it, I wouldn't be surprised, because Capricorns, we are very structured in the way we live our lives, and it's hard for us to be vulnerable and to go with a level of uncertainty of whether or not there's going to be a success with the outcome. But we have this Nine of Cups here. I think deep down inside we know it's going to give us a lot of joy. It's something that is going to be fulfilling. We know that deep down inside now. It's something we can't ignore. It started to like whisper to us. We wanted to, perhaps we were more intentional even at the new moon. We were like, oh, I want to try this. I want to like try this new hobby. I want to do this. Now it's like screaming. It's like, now is the time. And so lastly, we have the Chariot, which to me, it's like, it's time. It's go time. Spirit's saying it's go time. And we have here in the potential outcome, the High Priestess. So this is Major Arcana number 2. Again, this could lead to 2 weeks after the full moon up until 6 months later. So there's something there. So if you've been, whatever thought forms that were bubbling at the surface back in November, December of last year, and they've only sort of grown to become their own thing, their own belief systems, their own thought forms, their own actions. If you have already started taking some actions, but then you've held back, with this full moon, it's like, it's basically, again, it's this key taking off whenever I see this right now, I'm seeing handcuffs for whatever reason. It's saying your hands are no longer tied. Spirit is saying there's nothing that's going to hold you back. Jupiter is here with all this love and luck and expansion. He's resonating from across the way in the temple of the moon. So it's it's energy that is truly going to give you fulfillment no matter what. I don't think that that's a question at this point. And the High Priestess is like, listen, all you gotta do is trust your intuition. It's gonna be all right. All right, so why is the High Priestess here in the position of potential outcome? I'll get one or two messages here for the Capricorn Collective. Why is the High Priestess here? Ooh. Any additional messages? All right. And bottom of the deck. Actually, I do, by the way, keep in I call them the blank cards that come with the deck. I think that it is a message from Spirit that it's meant for us to discover and not for us to ask too many questions. So I'm going to honor that as bottom of the deck today. And what did fly out was the Three of Pentacles. So the Three of Pentacles is about, it involves other people, community, social circles, whatever that looks like for you, Capricorn. I think that Spirit is saying is that you have this intuition, this inner knowing. You know that whatever it is of this new beginning that you have put to the back burner, okay? And you've been living for a long time in this hangman energy. You felt like your hands were tied. You couldn't actually go after it. You were defending something, but you no longer have to defend it. This Four of Pentacles energy is saying, stop defending it. This is a message where you are right now. You have this inner knowing that it's going to drive happiness. Have the baby. Say yes to getting married. Go ask somebody out. Buy the house. Go on the trip. Do the side quests. Whatever that is for you, the Chariot is here. And he's saying go after it. And you just have to trust your gut. And also at the same time, it's going to involve other people. And you're not necessarily going to know the outcome. You're not supposed to know the outcome because that's the lesson here, is that you're supposed to use your intuition and to trust it and have a deeper connection to the divine, because those downloads will come. This idea of feeling like the ego is gonna, be sitting here and tell you all of these reasons as to why you shouldn't do something. Well, guess what? Now is the time to do so. Dump out those cups that are just, filling up, that's got old slimy water. Dump them out. They're no longer holding any value to you. This release negativity. Again, I love this actually now, bringing this whole reading together. It's about releasing that negativity. Spirit is saying, let go of all of the doubts, the fear of the unknown. This is your time. Luck is on your side. The divine is here. The universe wants to bring this forth for you. So I am excited. Whatever you've been manifesting for the last 6 months, the time is here. And don't allow anyone's doubts to become your doubts. Definitely use your intuition and consult those that you trust, perhaps who've been there before. Do your work, look up, find a guru, whatever that is in terms of what it is that you want to manifest. If you want to have a baby, read the baby books. Find a friend who already has a baby. Or if you're going to get married, make sure that, it's a connection of that you're walking into it with the other, but don't hold back. It's like, if you're gonna do it, you gotta go all in. Do not go half in, half out. All right, well, I'm gonna leave it here, Capricorn. I hope that this message resonated in some way or another. If you liked what you heard today, I would be so honored for a like or subscribe. But until next time, I will leave you with that. Love and light. Take care.